Good morning. I'm Judge Amy Carter. This is Courtroom 1, Session 1. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Good morning, Alicia Garrell for the state of Florida.
Thank you.
And I'm Manuel Soto Diaz with the Office of the Public Defender.
Okay. There we go. Good morning, ma'am. Your name? Ma'am?
Lee May Zhang.
You are here in case number 19 MM 3260. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence. I do find probable cause, ma'am. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You need to make sure that the public defender's office has your contact information and also the clerk of the court so that you get notice of your court dates. Okay? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so I can go? Oh, can we?
Good morning, Ms. Nelson. You are here in case number 19MM378. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Ms. Nelson?
Adjudication and credit time served, Your Honor.
Okay.
What do you think, Ms. Nelson? She's going to accept the state's offer, Your
All
Honor.
right, just need the plea form. Thank you, Officer Heddick. How are you this morning? Good. Ms. Nelson, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
I know about it, ma'am. I read it before.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No, ma'am.
All right. I will accept your plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. How many days does Ms. Nelson have? 3 days. I'll sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 3 days time served. You also have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 20th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Hello. My name is Pablo Juan Burgos, Jr. 205-1991.
Okay. Mr. Diaz?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Burgos is here because we filed a motion for ROR release. Before we continue, may I approach with the state?
Sure. Oh, I reviewed this yesterday, and I had Jill set it, I think, for this morning.
I'm sorry.
I've reviewed this yesterday, and I had Jill set it this morning, so I'm familiar with the facts. Good morning. I was just going to give the state an opportunity to put their position on the record. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you have any objection to the motion being granted? Yeah, so he was found incompetent in a Well, I don't, he just saw Judge Shoemaker, and he's being, so, let me pull it up again, but he just was reevaluated on the 13th of this month, but it hasn't come back yet, is my understanding. But let me just pull this up again, hold on. Right. I'm inclined to grant the motion, given the fact that he's been found incompetent to proceed. There hasn't been really any change. He appeared in court last time, Judge Shoemaker's courtroom. They're having him reevaluated. I just wanted to have it brought up in open court, so that way, obviously, you could have an opportunity to be heard. He was found incompetent on November 26th of 2018. That was only 5 months ago, so that's not stale. The case law says about 6 months. Right, right, because he was just reevaluated on the 13th, so they're probably gonna reuse that, so. Okay, I'm gonna grant the motion, I'm gonna release him ROR. Okay. Okay. Yes. Oh, that's okay, sure. I do have a copy of the order, and I do see the second page. Okay. Mr. Did you have that status date? Odyssey's giving me problems, and it won't let me
I thought I saw May 9th.
pull up the case. All right, it's on May 6th of 2019. So I put in the order that he must appear at that status hearing on May 6th of 2019.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Can we, do we have any, I don't know if Madam Clerk can print something I can hand to him?
Do we have what?
A notice of hearing or something? Is that on the record?
I don't, I can tell you, sir, that you need to be in Judge Shoemaker's courtroom, that's courtroom 7C at the Orange County Courthouse at 9 o'clock in the morning on May 6th.
Okay, 7C. That's the court. That's May 6th at 9 o'clock. Very important you show up. I'm sorry? Downtown, yes, sir. Good luck.
Good morning, sir, your name?
Jesús Roberto Choa Gutiérrez.
Mr. Gutierrez, it appears that you would like to see if you qualify for the Public Defender's Office. I just need to ask you a couple questions, sir. Are you currently employed?
Necesito que me traduzca.
He doesn't speak English, Your Honor.
Oh, well, then maybe he can see Judge Wish this afternoon.
Okay. Let me go ahead and explain to you.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have it reset in courtroom 2? Okay. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Dave Alfred.
Mr. Alfred, this is case number 19 CF 5462. You were arrested for sale and delivery of cannabis without consideration and providing false ID to law enforcement, sir. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $500. Your bond on count 2 is $100. You also have case number 18 CF 17337. You failed to appear, sir, for case management conference on March 25th of this year. Your bond is currently set at none, and you'll have to have the judge downtown see if that can be modified. Thank you, sir.
Basically, I just have to go to, go see that judge.
Yeah, get in contact with your lawyer, and they'll have to file a motion.
I got a little.
Perfect. All right, thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Elijah Kraft.
Mr. Kraft, you are here in case number 18 CF 16984, sir. You failed to appear for case management conference on April 5th of 2019. Your bond in that matter is set at none. You also were arrested in 19 MM 3265 for resisting officer without violence. I find probable cause for that offense, sir. I will appoint the public defender. Your bond is $500. And then in case number 19 CF 1739, I'm going to revoke your ROR status in that case, and your bond will be set at none. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, the state has already filed a notice of non-filing in that case.
They did?
I believe so.
Well, let me check. That's correct. On March 13th of 2019, there was a notice of non-filing on or before the 33rd day. So he's not out on bond on 19 CF 1739, so he shouldn't have a hold for that. Thank you, sir. Don't. Oh. Stored away. Good morning, sir. Your name?
My name's Anthony Johnson, Merrill.
Mr. Johnson, this is case number 19 CF 5467. You were arrested for possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause and will appoint the public defender's office. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, sir. You need to make sure that you keep in contact with the public defender's office and make sure your address is updated with the clerk of the court so that you get notice of all your court dates.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The cathedral burnt down, y'all.
Pardon me?
The cathedral burnt down in Paris. It's very terrible. Y'all
I'm
pray for
aware.
them folk.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Centerica Mills.
Ms. Mills, this is case number 19 CF 5466. You were arrested for sale and delivery of cocaine, sale and delivery of cannabis without consideration, and assignation to commit prostitution. I do find probable cause for those offenses. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150, and your bond on count 3 is $100. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Your name?
My name is Chancey Janavis Redding. Good morning to you too.
Mr. Redding, this is case number 19 CF 5468. You were arrested for tampering with physical evidence and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. I find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $500, and your bond on count 2 is $100.
So 10% out of both of them, what would I be paying?
You have to ask Mr. Diaz that question, sir.
What you say again? So $100 and I can bond up for $100?
$200.
Oh, $200. Correct. I can bond up. So there's no pre-charge.
No, because you don't qualify.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
James Jerry Williams II, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, this is case number 19 CF 5440. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance, 2 counts, burglary of a structure, 2 counts, petty theft with 2 prior convictions, 2 counts, and that's in the 19 CF 5440. You also have 19 MM 3241. You were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia, 3 counts of resisting officer without violence, and loitering and prowling. I find probable cause for the offenses. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. I'm going to set your bond at $1,500 on count 1. Stay the bond at $150 on counts 2 through 6. And 19 MM 3241, your bond on count 1 through 5 will be $100. Thank you, sir.
And sorry, Your Honor, what was the bond on count 1 for the 19 CF 5440?
1,500.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Bertrand Alexander.
Mr. Alexander, this is case number 19MO703. You were arrested for camping. I do find probable cause and will appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Alexander?
Adjudication and credit time served, Your Honor.
Do you want to accept that offer, Mr. Alexander?
He wishes to accept that offer, Your Honor.
Mr. Alexander, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No.
Sir, are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
I just got to the hospital that Monday, and I was taking medication.
Okay. Does it help you think more clearly, though?
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to accept your plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You'll have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 20th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Oh, here's that one too. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Poston Kimball.
Mr. Kimball, you were here in case number 19MO706. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Kimball?
adjudication and credit time served, Your Honor.
Thank you.
He's going to accept the state's offer, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Kimball, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No, ma'am, I haven't.
Sir, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You'll also have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 20th of 2020. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. And then on the out on bond cases, 19 MM 3206, 19 MO 674, and 19 MO 693, I will take no action at this time, sir.
Your Honor, George Maxwell is mental health.
All right, we'll reset Mr. Maxwell. Good morning, are you Mr. Pills?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir. You're here in case number 19 MM 3261. You were arrested for trespass and resisting officer without violence. I do find probable cause, sir.
Okay.
Were you gonna hire an attorney, or do you wanna see if you qualify for the public defender?
You get my dad?
Okay, is your dad a lawyer?
Sometimes.
Okay, sir, I'm kind of confused by your response. Are you planning on hiring a private attorney to help you with this case? You just didn't fill out an application for the public defender. It's up to you what you want to do. Pardon me?
Fingerprint?
No?
Okay.
She wants to know if you,
Signature?
how are you going to, do you plan on hiring a lawyer?
Sure.
Okay. No, we don't.
You want my lawyer?
Sure.
All right.
Well, the judge wants to know, though, if, are you seeking the appointment of the public defender's office, or are you going to hire your own lawyer?
You want to be my lawyer or no?
Okay.
Sure.
Yep.
I think I'll be your lawyer.
You gonna help
Okay.
him, Mr. Diaz?
Good.
I will, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Gurrell, is there an offer for Mr. Pills?
Just one minute, Your Honor.
Sure. Sure. Manny, do you want to come up? Or Mr. Diaz, do you want to come up?
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Teresa. So I want to order mental health PTR if he qualifies. So do I leave the bonds as they are and then also add that? Okay, that's what I'm gonna, then they'll screen them. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, Mr. Pills, at this time, your bond on count 1 is $100. Your bond on count 2 is $500. I did appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and I'm also gonna see if you qualify for the mental health pretrial release program. So they're gonna come talk to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Your Honor, so is
Thank
that
you, sir.
monetary bond and mental health PTR or
Well, I wanna
PTR?
see if he qualifies, so or,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
thank you.
So if he doesn't qualify, then he'll have the bond.
All right.
Okay.
Good luck.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Reginald Harris.
Mr. Harris, this is case number 19MM3219. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence. I do find probable cause for that offense, sir. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Harris?
Your Honor, an adjudication in 10 days in jail.
Okay. He was arrested on the 16th.
May I have a brief moment, Mr. Harris?
Sure.
Hold on a second. Your Honor, are you inclined to take any action on the out on bond cases?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Your Honor, our decision is going to be contingent on the court's action. If the court's inclined to revoke his bond, it doesn't make sense to accept the 10-day offer since he's just going to be here anyway.
Seems like that would make sense.
Well, that would give him an opportunity to contest a charge. He doesn't know
If he
whether he'll
wants to
be in here
contest it, that's-
indefinitely.
Okay, his bond is $500. And then I'll take no action on 19 CF 2323. Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, well, in that case, Your Honor, then he would accept the offer. Maybe I misspoke. So
I
the
just thought you
court's-
said he wanted to be able to contest the charge.
If the court was going to hold him no bond, then he was going to reject the 10-day offer and just go ahead and contest the charge, since he's going to be here anyway. Meaning but if the court is not inclined to take any action, then he wanted to accept the 10-day offer.
Okay. I was not going to revoke his bond. Whatever
Okay.
that he wants to do, that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, he does?
All right. He said he's going to bond out, Your Honor.
All right. I don't see the second one. Oh, he has two cases, 2323 and 2324. They're probably from the same offense date. Because they've only have one out on bond sheet.
That's correct.
Okay, well, your bond's $500, Mr. Harris. Thank you.
Good luck. Hold on, grab your paperwork. Okay.
Good morning, Judge. Jose Rivas. Judge, on behalf of Mr. Masonet Lopez, Judge, I just received notification that Judge Traver did sign the order this morning issuing bond in the amount of $2,500, so the issue's been resolved, Judge.
Pardon me?
I did receive notification that Judge Traver downtown signed an order for a bond for $2,500 on the motion that we filed yesterday, so the issue has been resolved.
Oh, okay. Do you have notice of that state?
I have an email, Judge, that I received the order.
I'm gonna look and see if there's anything in Odyssey, and if there's not, would you mind approaching and showing me in the
Sure,
state, the
Judge.
email?
Sure.
So you filed a motion to modify the KPS yesterday? Okay. Okay. And you're aware of that? Okay. I know there's a lag time sometimes with what? Okay. I see your motion. But I don't see the order yet. Can I see? Great, no, that's good. I believe you. Not that I didn't before, but it's just, making sure. Okay, so there's a $2,500 bond and he's all set? I understand. All right, nice to meet you. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Edmund Ben.
Mr. Ben, this is case number 19 CF 5473. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine. I find probable cause. Sir, did you want to see if you qualify for the public defender, or are you going to hire a lawyer to represent you?
Publisher.
All right. Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any source of income?
No, ma'am.
Based upon your testimony, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, so you need to make sure that you have an updated address with the clerk of the court and stay in contact with the public defender's office so you don't miss your court date because you'll get arrested. All right, thanks, sir. Oops, wrong way. Sir, good morning. Are you Mr. Bosley?
Yes.
You're here in case number 16 CF 10608, sir. You failed to appear for your status hearing on 3/20. You also have 18 CF 2765. You failed to appear for your status hearing on 3/20. 17 CF 3511 and 18 CF 13748 and 16 CF 15883. And I noticed that on all of the pickup orders, it says that the clerk is to give notice to the trial court within 24 hours of his arrest. I think that the status hearings were probably competency status hearings or conditional release review.
Okay.
So based upon the order, the clerk is to notify the judge within 24 hours of Mr. Bosley's arrest. I believe they'll address the modification of the conditional release in the trial court.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
My name, Tiffany Carmen.
Ms. Carr?
Yes, ma'am.
This is case number 18 CF 12425. You failed to appear for pretrial conference on January 9th of this year. Your bond on count 1 is $2,500. Your bond on count 2 is $500. And your bond on count 3 is $500. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Vester, were they going to pull your case, or you're just waiting? Okay.
I brought one.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Are you Mr. Delgado?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in case number 19 CF 5464. You were arrested for grand theft, third degree. I do find probable cause and will appoint the public defender. Your bond, sir, is $1,000. You're not to return to the Home Depot at 7022 West Colonial Drive. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Urban Gifford Jr.
Mr. Gifford, this is case number 19 CF 5182. You were arrested for burglary of a structure with an assault or battery with a weapon, robbery with a deadly weapon, and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. State, did you want to be heard with respect to bond on counts 1 and counts 2?
Not at this time, Your Honor. We'll leave it to the judge's discretion.
Pardon me?
We'll leave it to the judge's discretion.
Okay. So, Ms. Grout, count 1 and count 2 are both punishable by life felonies. If I have to make a finding with respect to both of those counts in order to determine bond.
Your Honor, if I may have a moment to look up the arrest affidavit so I
Sure.
can find, so we can ask the court to find the proof evident presumption rate. All they gave me was the front sheet.
So you gotta do it like this, go back. You gotta do zeros.
Yes, I know. All right, Your Honor, per the arrest affidavit, Mr. Irving, or Mr. Gifford rather, took a 750 milliliter glass bottle of Jack Daniel's whiskey from the shelf and used it to strike the victim in the head, which knocked him to the ground. He then ran out of the store with a case of Remy cognac. And he was not given permission to strike the victim nor steal any property from Gore Liquor. Officers then reviewed the surveillance video and saw the events occur on the video and they were able to match the victim's description with what they observed on the video. Detectives was able to generate pictures of the suspect's face from the video generated a crimes bulletin with information of the incident and 2 pictures, and a tip came in which identified that suspect seen on the video and described from the victim as Mr. Gifford. When detectives found Mr. Gifford, they viewed his driver's license photo and confirmed that it was in fact the person that they saw on the surveillance video. And then later, Your Honor, the victim was able to identify the defendant from a photo lineup.
Mr. Diaz?
Your Honor, I'd ask that the court set a bond on count number 1. I didn't hear any argument with respect to the burglary. I did hear that he struck somebody with a bottle, with the bottle being the deadly weapon,
She
sufficient for
said
the
he came in
aggravated.
and stole a case of liquor from the back room.
Okay, I'm sorry, that I must have missed that.
Okay.
Yes, sorry, if it wasn't clear, he walked to the back room and grabbed the bottles of Remy. The back room's not open to the public.
Okay.
She
No
just-
argument from the defense then.
Okay, all right. I do find that the state has met their burden to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great based upon the information in the sworn probable cause affidavit to issue the warrant. There's a video of Mr. Gifford where the police were able to generate photos to use in a crime line. Tips were called in, they generated a lineup, and then the victim identified Mr. Gifford. And then based upon the finding of proof evident presumption great, and I'm not gonna exercise my discretion to set a bond at this time based upon Mr. Gifford's criminal history, which includes 19 felonies, 7 misdemeanors, and 2 failures to appear. Bond on count 3, though, it will be $2,500. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to add also, Mr. Gifford, you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms while you're out on bond, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Are you Mr. Gillens?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 5447. You were arrested for sale and delivery of cocaine pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir, and I'm going to order pretrial release. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Hall.
Good morning, ma'am.
Mr. Hall, you are here. Another warrant came through, so you have 19 CF 3293, burglary of a conveyance and grand theft, 3rd degree. As I said, that was pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. Your bond on count 1 will be $1,500. Your bond on count 2 will be $150. It looks like the bondsman endorsed your bond on 19 CF 3293 and 19 CF 3293. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if they understand that it was a sequence of events and there hasn't been a continuous, like, you haven't bonded out and committed new law offenses. They, based upon what we saw yesterday with the way that the warrants came in. So you'll have to get in contact with them. I'm just gonna reset the original bond amount on each case, okay? So on the 19 CF 3293, it's 5,000, and 19 CF 3293, it's 150. So maybe your attorney, sir, can get in contact with the bondsman and explain to them what's going on, okay? Thank you, sir. Sure. Oh, and then there's a Mr. Hanson. Are you Mr. Hanson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, this is case number 19 CF 5470. You were arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. You were also arrested in 19 CF 5472 while driving while license suspended. I find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender in both cases, sir. Your bond in 19 CF 5470 will be $150 on count one, $100 on count two. I'm gonna stay the bond at $2,500 in 19 CF 5472, and 19 CF 5270, I'll take no action. Thank you, sir. Who? Yes, but he had those endorsements. No, that's 1,500, yeah, this is right. But on those other cases, the bond was, these bonds were endorsed, so I just reset the bond at the original, because the bonds were what's to come off the bond. This is a new thing, what is it? Just one case for today. But these are other cases that he's got a bunch of cases, but these are not, they didn't just get arrested on it. For the case that we just put in on, which is this one, which is the case we're gonna have. Three two nineteen, is that 3219? Oh, thank you.
He's a good guy.
Mr. Diaz,
Yes.
Ms. Grell, on Mr. Hall's case, I was confused. I thought that the endorsement was on a different case number. It wasn't. It was on the warrant case that he just came in here today for.
I
It's
was
the
a bit
same
confused
case
myself, because
number.
that's the number that I wrote down initially.
So, again, I would have your office get in contact with the bondsman, because he was here yesterday and there was a ton of them, and they were all
Okay.
in sequence. So, the bond on it, I just stayed the bond, it's $5,150. I thought it was a new case, so the 1,500 is not the bond. Do you see what
Okay.
I'm saying? Like, I had put it at the 1,500, but it's only the 5,000, it's the same case, so I'm staying the bond at 5,150.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Yes, I'll double check that. Thank you. Good morning, are you Ms. J?
Good morning, how are you?
Ms. J, you were here in case number 17 CF 10971. You failed to appear for status hearing on April 12th of this year. Your bond is currently set at none. Is she represented by the PD? Ma'am, do you have an attorney?
Yes, I
To
do.
represent you? Okay, you'll have to get in contact with your attorney regarding a potential bond motion, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Joseph?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 5439. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance, criminal mischief, and grand theft, third degree. I do find probable cause for the offenses, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not allowed to return to the venue at Winter Park. And I'm going to order pretrial release, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Good morning, my name is Samson Lumos.
Mr. Lemos? You are here in case number 19 CF 4873. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offense of possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. Your bond is $1,500. I'll appoint the, well, sir, you didn't fill out an affidavit. Are you gonna hire an attorney to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hold on to that anyway. I don't think he's on text.
All right, sir, at this time, in 19 CF 3042, I'm revoking your bond and that will be set at none. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Jeremy Morrison.
Okay, we'll reset Mr. Malik. And you're Mr. Morrison?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Morrison, this is case number 19 CF 5487. You were arrested for burglary of a dwelling and criminal mischief. I do find probable cause and will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. You are not to return to 4716 Davison Avenue. Your bond on count 1 is $5,000. Your bond on count 2 is $100. I'm sorry, $150. And case number 19MM180, I'm revoking your ROR and you'll be held at no bond. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Are you Mr. Perkins?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were here in case number 19 CF 5441. You were arrested for burglary of a structure, grand theft third degree, criminal mischief, and possession of a controlled substance. I find probable cause and will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $3,500 on count 1. Count 2 is $150. Counts 3 and 4 is $100. You also are here on a violation of probation for Manatee County. I do find probable cause for the violation of probation based upon the new law offense. Sir, you're also not allowed to return to the Chickasaw Trail Animal Hospital. And your bond on the on-view violation of probation will be set at none. Thank you, sir. Oh, we have 2? Just 1 second, Mr. Morrison, or I'm sorry, Mr. Perkins. Both VOPs. Okay. So for both out-of-county violations of probation, there is probable cause for the violation and both bonds will be set at none. Thank you, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
One. Tisha Pulliam.
I'm sorry, Ms. Pulliam, this is case number 19 CF 5469. You were arrested for possession of ecstasy, ma'am. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You were also arrested in 19 MO 702. That is for an open container. which I also find probable cause for and will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Ma'am, I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance, so you need to stay in contact with the public defender's office who's representing you to make sure that they know how to get in contact with you,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you don't miss your court date.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I need.
Make sure to keep that paper okay?
Good morning, sir. Your name?
72 Marcellus Reese.
Mr. Reese, this is case number 19 CF 5459. You were arrested for trafficking in MDMA greater than 20 grams but less than greater than 10 grams, less than 200 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause for the offenses, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. I'm gonna set your bond at $10,000 on count 1 and $100 on count 2, and I'm also going to order pretrial release. Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Kevin Ritchie.
Mr. Ritchie, this is case number 19 CF 5450. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for failing to report vacating a resident within 48 hours. Your bond is $5,000, sir. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have reporting requirements when you're released from the jail. Okay? Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Louis Roman.
Mr. Roman, this is case number 19 CF 2775. It appears that the bondsman has endorsed your bond and wants to come off the bond. I'll just stay the bond at the $50,000.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Sir, the bondsman on your case has endorsed the bond, no longer wants to be responsible for it, so I'm resetting it at the $50,000.
Okay, which,
Oh, sir, are you represented?
yeah.
He is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. But I think he has a private. Does he have a private attorney, Mr. Diaz? Yes. He said. Good morning, Mr. Solomon.
Good morning.
It appears that the bondsman wants to come off the bonds on your out-on-bond cases. So at this time, I'm just gonna stay the bonds. As I said, I think I saw you yesterday,
Yes, ma'am.
that the issue of the revocation of those bonds can be addressed at your bond hearing downtown. So at this time, I'll just keep the bonds as they were, the original bonds. Okay? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, are you Mr. Sparrow?
How are you doing today?
Sir, this is case number 18 CF 16218. You failed to appear for case management conference, sir, on March 13th of 2019. Your bond is currently set at none. You were also arrested in 19 CF 5193 pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for burglary of an unoccupied dwelling and grand theft, 3rd degree. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to return to 4807 Raleigh Street, and you're not to have any contact with Marilyn Cruz. Your bond on count 1 is $7,500. Your bond on count 2 will be $150. Thank you, sir. Mr. Sparrow? Yeah, he FTA'd 5 counts. Right? Okay. Good morning, Ms. Stewart. Ms. Stewart, this is case number 19 CF 5451. You were arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia, ma'am. I do find probable cause and will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $500. Your bond on count 2 is $100. Thank you, ma'am. Do you want to come up real quick? Thank you. Nope, no problem. Is this a 2? Because it's a waiver yet. Okay. You're welcome. Good morning, ma'am. Are you Miss Vega?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is case number 19 CF 1238. You failed to appear for arraignment on April 11th of this year. Your bond on count 1 is $2,500. Your bonds on counts 2 and 3 is $500. Was the PD appointed for her? I'll appoint the public defender if they weren't previously appointed to represent you, ma'am. Thank you. She filled out an affidavit. Okay, we'll reset Miss Wells then. Sir, are you Mr. Griffin?
Randall Sanko.
Okay. And I think that's your case, Mr. Vecchio, but it's right here on my sec. Tell me your name, sir?
Randall Lewis Sanko.
Got it. Okay. Sir, this is case number 19MO704. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. I do find probable cause. Did you want an attorney to represent you, sir?
No.
Okay.
No, not
Ms.
for
Grell, is there an
something.
offer for Mr. Sanko?
Adjudication and credit time served, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you want to accept that, Mr. Sanko?
Time served?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just sign the form, please. Oh, thank you. Mr. Sanko, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No.
Sir, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You'll have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 20th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I have time served. I'm just, I'm going out today?
That's right.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
You're welcome. Good morning. Are you Mr. Hunter?
Ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19 MO705. You were arrested for open container. I find probable cause. Did you want an attorney to assist you with this case, sir?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Grell, is there an offer for Mr. Hunter?
Adjudication and time served, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you hear that, Mr. Hunter?
What's
It's
that?
adjudication and credit time served. Would you like to
Yes,
accept that?
ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, he's being held on something else.
I got a
Violation of parole.
VOP,
I see that.
Okay.
VOP hold.
Oh, well, sir, do you want to accept the offer if you are being held here on, I see you're on conditional release supervision. Do you understand that if you enter this plea, it will violate your probation?
I want that. I want that. I want to go back to prison and finish up my time.
Okay. Do you
So-
want to talk to Mr. Diaz about that before you go forward?
No.
I've talked to him briefly about it.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, that's-
Thank you. Mr. Hunter, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
And you don't want an attorney to assist you today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And as we just talked about, you understand that by entering this plea, you're going to violate your conditional release or your probation,
Yes, ma'am.
and you still want to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening
No,
in
ma'am.
court today? Sir, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You'll need to pay court costs. Those have to be paid by April 20th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. All right. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Are you Mr. Tolis?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19 MO708. You were arrested for open container. I find probable cause. Did you want an attorney to assist you with this case, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Corral,
Adjudication and time served, Your Honor.
did you hear that, Mr. Tolis?
Yes, I did.
Okay. If you'd like to accept it, I just need you to sign the plea form.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Tolis, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No, I don't.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 20th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good morning. Your name, sir?
Brandon Marquise Vanover.
Mr. Vanover, you are here, excuse me, in case number 19 MO709. You were arrested for lying on the sidewalk in downtown. I find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Vanover?
Adjudication and time served, Your Honor.
Mr. Vanover, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And may I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I know I was in here like a couple of days ago. Like I was in Genesis, and a dude told me to go down to the courthouse to room 257
Okay.
to pay all my court fines that I owe the state.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to do when I get out of here today.
Oh, good. Okay. We'll make sure you do that.
All right. Thank you.
Sir, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You're gonna have additional court costs to pay, sir. Those need to be paid by April 20th
But
of
I can do it
2020.
today when I get out, right? I can go right down there today, right?
You absolutely can. I'm giving you a year on this case,
I'm trying
okay?
to pay the whole thing, whatever I owe the
That's
state and all court costs.
Perfect. So on this case, though, it's going to add to it. I'm giving you a year, okay? April 20th of 2020. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. And 19 CF 4492, I'll take no action. Thank
All
you,
right,
sir.
thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Jennifer Witherspoon.
Ma'am, this is case number 19MO710. You were arrested for camping. I find probable cause and will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Ms. Witherspoon?
Adjudication and time served, Your Honor.
Did you hear Ms. Witherspoon?
No, what was that?
Adjudication and credit time served.
I don't want to plead guilty. Like, it's going to affect my job and my ability to go to school if I do that.
Okay. Well, your
So-
bond is $250.
I mean, hold on. So I'm going to have to, like, stay in jail until I can pay bond?
That's how it works.
So, I closed my eyes on a park bench, and now I'm losing my job.
Ma'am, you absolutely have the right to contest the charge, so your bond is $250. Thank you.
Hold on, I'll just take
No.
the bond. I can't pay a bond, and I have to be at work this afternoon, so I'll just take the guilty plea and be done with it, but
Your Honor, is there some reason why ROR release wouldn't be
like,
appropriate?
I don't understand. I've never been in trouble here. It's crazy. I have to be at work in an hour.
Just 1 second. I think you're gonna make work anyway.
She's never failed to appear. Where do you work?
At Full Sail University.
What do you do there?
I'm an admissions guide. I got the job about a month ago. I was exited from the coalition after 60 days, so that was last Tuesday. So I've been homeless for the last week trying to work a full-time job. And so I just sat down on a bench and closed my eyes to get a little bit of rest so I could be at work this morning. Like, it's a great job, you know. I'm not gonna be homeless much longer, but like, it's crazy that like I'm making strides towards, like, I'm almost there. I get my first paycheck Friday.
Okay. Ms. Crowell, do you want to be heard?
As far as changing the offer, Your Honor, but I have no objection to her being released if she wants to contest the charge.
Okay. I just wondered if you want to be heard with respect to the ROR.
Oh, yeah, no objection to that. Your
Okay. Ma'am, you have not failed to appear before. I'm going to release you ROR. Make sure that the public defender's office, did you fill out the form?
I did.
Okay. And I did appoint them. So make sure you keep in contact with them so that they have an address for you, whether that's a general delivery address, wherever that may be.
Okay.
And keep your address updated with the clerk so that they know how to get in touch with you, because if not, you're going to get arrested
Yeah.
if you fail to appear for court, okay?
Okay, I'll make sure that I come to court for
Okay.
sure.
All right. Good luck, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I have a brief moment with her before we dismiss
Sure.
her? Mr. Street.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Marquez? Oh, okay. Then we will reset Mr. Marquez. Okay, we can reset Mr. Pickett. Sir, are you Mr. Street?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Good morning. This is 19 MM 3266. You were arrested for possession of cannabis less than 20 grams and attempted destruction of evidence. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Street?
Withholding court costs, Your Honor.
Still be going with it.
Do you want to see if the judge would release you anyway?
But what does that mean? What you talking about?
You want to contest the charge of unified case? See if the judge would consider releasing you anyway. You don't have to do this.
Do the court shit?
I'm sorry?
You mean go to the court?
Correct.
I'll find out, yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, he qualifies for PTR. Would the court consider releasing him on some non-monetary term? He's considered contesting the charge.
I'll order PTR.
Okay.
Okay.
Be released shortly. Good luck.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Adrian Florima?
What about Mr. Ayasa?
No, Adrian Florima?
Right, he bonded.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, sir. And you're Mr. Florima? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. You are here for, like, a violation of probation. He's here on an on-view, looks like violation of probation for probation out of Seminole County. I don't have probable cause based upon the affidavit submitted by the officer for the violation of probation. It just says that he's on probation. Condition 7 says that he can't possess any drugs or narcotics unless prescribed by a physician. He violated his probation because the officer states that on 4/17 he was in possession of a drug not prescribed by a physician, marijuana. Okay, I
So
don't.
this
I
isn't a
don't-
warrant?
It's not a warrant, it's just an affidavit. Like if you want to approach and take a look at
Let me
it,
see.
you're
He
more than
has his
welcome
here.
to.
I can take a look at it.
But it's Seminole County case.
Okay.
Steve, do you have any other information?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay. Alright. Well, based upon what I have before me, I don't find probable cause, and I'm gonna release Mr. Florima Arwar. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Angela Michael.
Ma'am, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Lake County, Florida, for burglary to an unoccupied structure and theft of a motor vehicle. Your bond on count 1 is $10,000. Your bond on count 2 is $2,000. If you're unable to post that bond, ma'am, Lake County will come and pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get to first appearance there. Okay? Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Ricky Starling.
Mr. Starling, this is an out-of-county warrant from Lake County for the offense of DUI. Your bond is currently set at none. Lake County will come pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get to first appearance.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, sir. Good morning. Are you Miss Worley?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is an out-of-county warrant from Polk County. It's a violation of probation. Your bond is currently set at none. Polk County is gonna come pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get to first appearance. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, sure. Miss Hanson, Kayla Hanson. Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
You are here in case number 19 CF 4488. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found for the offenses of burglary of a conveyance and grand theft third degree. Your bond on count 1 is $2,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150.
Okay.
You're not to return to 4407 Ethan Place.
Okay, no problem.
And ma'am, are you hiring an attorney to represent you, or do you want to see if you qualify for the public defender?
I'll say a public defender.
Okay, do you have a job?
No, I don't have a job right now.
Okay, do you have any source of income?
My uncle is the one that helps me out, so he would help me with that.
Okay. Based upon your testimony, ma'am, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent
Okay.
you, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Yeah? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna hand this to you. Good morning, Mr. Bezio.
Good morning.
You're here, Mr. Griffin?
I am Ryan Vecchio, Assistant State Attorney, State Attorney's Office Homicide Unit.
Good morning, you're Mr. Griffin?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 5436. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant or probable cause was previously found for the offense of first-degree murder with a firearm. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. Mr. Ezio?
Your Honor, when Judge Sanders signed the warrant yesterday, she had signed the warrant with no bond. State of Florida would ask that the court continue to hold the defendant at no bond on the new 19 CF 5436. As outlined in the affidavit for arrest warrant, 911 was called Saturday morning at approximately 4:10 a.m., where responding units found the deceased lying in the roadway on Randall Street here in downtown Orlando, having suffered multiple gunshot wounds. The medical examiner's office has conducted an autopsy and determined that the deceased died due to multiple gunshot wounds. There was a description of a vehicle that leaving the scene that was fairly descriptive. It included a broken window on the left side or the driver's side and a broken out rear windshield, golden color. That vehicle has been identified as being owned by an associate of Mr. Griffin by the name of Shanice Owens Davis. Ms. Owens Davis eventually did tell law enforcement that she was present at the scene where this occurred. What the investigation of the Orlando Police Department has preliminarily determined was that earlier on April 12th, so Friday night, there was a disagreement between the deceased and Mr. Griffin at the Gore Liquor Store at approximately 11 p.m., where the deceased approached the defendant in an aggressive manner. This was captured on videotape. Orlando Police Department has recovered that tape, reviewed that tape, which does show a verbal altercation, but did not demonstrate that the deceased in this case had any firearms or any weapons that were threatened against Mr. Griffin. Approximately 5 hours later, there was a confrontation between between the deceased and Ms. Owens Davis. At that time, it's alleged and identified by multiple witnesses, at least 4 who have identified the defendant, that the defendant approached with a firearm, initially shot the deceased, Mr. Davis, multiple times, and then after Mr. Davis was initially shot and was on the ground, still alive, it's then alleged through these witnesses that the defendant then approached him and shot the deceased multiple additional times while on the ground and while still alive. We have interviewed 4 individuals that were at the scene. 2 of them have given recorded statements at the Orlando Police Department, which do corroborate that there was, that the deceased in this case did not have a weapon, did not have a knife gun, anything along those lines, did not brandish or threaten the use of a gun or another weapon at the time that Mr. Griffith approached him with a firearm and then shot him on 2 separate occasions. For all that, we'd ask the court to hold Mr. Griffith on the new murder charge at no bond. And as it relates to the violation of probation, that was done on view in case number 2017 CF 14398. The defendant was placed on probation by Judge Munyon on December 21st, 2018 for a period of 4 years for the offense of sale and delivery of a controlled substance. Given the finding of probable cause in the arrest for a first-degree murder, the defendant qualifies as a violent felony offender of special concern, and under the Anti-Murder Act, we would argue to the court that the defendant would be legally ineligible for bond on violation of probation.
Mr. Diaz.
Your Honor, with respect to the Arthur argument, the defense offers nothing today.
Okay.
I didn't see an affidavit regarding the violation of probation, but the jail is going to impose a 5-day hold nonetheless, so
There is
I imagine
one.
there is one. Okay.
I do have it here.
So we're not going to offer an argument with respect to the violation of probation case either.
Okay. The state today has met their burden that there is proof evident or presumption great to continue to hold Mr. Griffin at no bond. I will not exercise discretion to set a monetary bond at this time. In addition, Mr. Griffin is not to possess any weapons or any firearms if he is eventually able to obtain a bond. And there is probable cause for the violation of probation based upon the probable cause affidavit in the case we're here today. And so he will be held at no bond on the violation of probation as well.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Your Honor. That's all I have before Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Vesio. So we have the 33-day motions and then a bond hearing? One bond hearing? We already did it? Oh.
Mr. Burgos?
Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you. Ms. Girl, just let me know when you're ready for the 33-day motion.
I'm ready, Your
Oh,
Honor.
you are? Okay. 19 CF 3691. Good afternoon, I'm Judge Amy Carter. This is Courtroom 1, Session 2. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Good afternoon, Alicia Gorell for the state.
Brad Bolin for the Public Defenders.
Tell me your last name again?
Bolin?
Bolin?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Bolin. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Lene Blinn.
Ms. Blinn, this is case number 19 CF 5488. You were arrested for hallucinogen, possession of drug paraphernalia, and heroin purchase. I find probable cause for possession of a controlled substance and possession of heroin, along with possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm gonna set your bond at $1,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2, and $150 on count 3.
Your Honor, was the public defender appointed in this case?
Yes.
Your Honor, Ms. Blenn's indicated that she's not going to be able to afford that bond amount. I'm not sure if we've run her through pretrial release. If she would qualify for that, Your Honor, that'd be something that the court would consider.
No, it says that on her face sheet. Did they give you the face sheets, counsel?
I don't have one, Your Honor.
Oh.
Okay. Things changed since
Okay.
that was last year.
So you
Judge-
should have face sheets on your desk, so you can grab those. But with respect to Ms. Blinn, she has an active warrant out of Georgia for failing to appear, so I'm not gonna release her ROR and I'm not reducing her bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, quick clarification. Does she have a hold out of Georgia?
Pennsylvania.
No hold.
Pennsylvania. I've never been to Georgia.
Or, I'm sorry, I meant to say Pennsylvania. It's Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. I
Okay.
apologize.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, if we could waive the formal reading of the next charge.
Tell me your name, sir.
Burton Quandarius.
Sir, this is case number 19 CF 4522. You were arrested for failing to register. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant where probable cause was previously found. Your affidavit of insolvency states, sir, that you make $600 per week. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is that before taxes or after taxes?
That's after taxes.
Okay. And you don't have any dependents?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you don't qualify for the public defender's office to represent you, so you're gonna need to hire a lawyer to help you. Okay, at this time, your bond is going to be $2,500, and you do have reporting requirements when you are released from the jail. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, I just started this job last week.
Okay,
I'm homeless. Like, I just started this job. And the reason I couldn't register is because.
sir, I'm
I
gonna
had
stop
just-
you. Okay, everything in this room is recorded. You may have a defense to the charge, but today's not the day to present your defense. Okay?
So it's not possible that I can be able to get out today?
Your Honor, in light of the fact that it doesn't appear he has any of these actual paychecks, or that he has presumably only made $600 once, would the court reconsider appointing the public defender's office in this case? He's homeless, I'd imagine that.
So, yeah, I guess I'm confused, Mr. Burton, if you filled out this affidavit that states that you make $600 per week, but you're telling me that you don't have a job and you're homeless.
I'm saying I just started this job. I didn't even make 600 last week. I made 180 last week. I just started this job. I make $10 an hour. I can make up to $600 if I put in the work. I just started this job. I just got out of jail, and I couldn't register because.
I understand, sir. Okay, so what you're telling me is you don't make $600 per week. Your most recent income was $180 per week.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm gonna make the correction on your form,
Yes, ma'am.
and based upon your testimony, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. Okay?
Thank you, Your
And they'll be able to file any appropriate motions. Thank you, sir. Sir, your name?
Leonard Davis.
Well, Miss-
Leonard Davis.
What about Mr. Cooper? That's what I thought, okay. You're Mr. Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are here in case number 19 CF 5482. You were arrested for possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams and possession of drug paraphernalia. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $500. Your bond on count 2 will be $100.
Yes, ma'am.
You also have 17 CF 10211, which is a violation of probation based upon the new law offense. I do find probable cause for that, sir, and your bond will be set at none in that matter. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in both cases.
Your Honor, just briefly, with respect to the violation of probation, we'd be asking for a bond in this case. As far as consideration of that, it looks like there's going to be a very strong motion to suppress later on in this case. That could be a factor that the court can consider in setting the bond, the actions of the police. As far as the charge in and of itself, Your Honor, based on the arrest affidavit, it's very unclear as how they were able to determine that it was Mr. Davis's opposed to the driver of the vehicle after she made some admissions. I realized that later she allegedly recanted, but again, Judge, we're going to have very strong arguments going on later on down the road on this. Moreover, Judge, there's nothing to indicate that the officer saw anything outside of the girlfriend's statement saying that that bag was not hers, to tie that to Mr. Davis. So, Judge, she gave conflicting statements based on that. We'd be asking that the court strongly consider setting a bond in this case.
State?
I believe that the officers were able to tie this bag to Mr. Davis, just based on its proximity to the bag that he claimed was his. And that would violate his probation. State would object to setting a bond on the BOP.
Okay. The standard for probable cause is not very high, and that standard has been met. You may have great arguments for a motion to suppress later on. However, I'm not going to give him a bond on the violation of probation. He was placed on probation for robbery on March 15th of this year, and he is a violent felony offender of special concern, and he's not legally entitled to a bond because of that status. Thank you, sir. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Isaiah Fogel.
Mr. Fogel, you are here in case number 18 CF 2135. This is for a violation of probation, sir. It's alleged that you failed to complete your public service hours at an approved location. You were to complete 10 public service hours by December 3rd of 2018 for a total of 50 hours. And you have not made your court costs or payments, and you're $123 in arrears. Your bond at this time on that is set at none. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you, sir. You'll see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days. And then in 17 MM 2342, I'll take no action.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Christopher Hall.
Mr. Hall, this is case number 19CT2980. You were arrested for DUI. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you on both cases. You also have case number 19CT2980. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the first case. You have 19 CF 5486. You were arrested for possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause for both of those offenses as well. And I'm going to order pretrial release, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
My name's Shelley Landon.
Ms. Landon, this is case number 19 CF 5479. You were arrested for possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. I'm going to release you, ma'am, on your own recognizance. You need to make sure that the public defender's office has your contact information and also update that with the clerk of the court. Make sure the clerk has your address so that they can send you notice of your court date. Do you understand, ma'am?
I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Okay, make sure that you have her contact information so that she gets notice of court.
I'm drunk.
I understand.
I'll talk to you.
Oh, I didn't see that. Did Mr. Matthias bond out?
He's not on my docket.
Yeah. Matthias, 1901169, Mr. Matthias? Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
James Maxey.
Mr. Maxey, this is case number 19 CF 5480. You were arrested for possession of heroin, possession of drug paraphernalia, and loitering and prowling. I do find probable cause. Sir, your affidavit of insolvency states that you make $600 per week. Is that accurate?
That's pretty close.
Okay. You currently make $600 per week.
Yeah, if I get.
I just want to be sure, because I've had a couple of other people who have written that exact number down and then have come and told me that that wasn't correct.
I've been making about around 600 a week.
Okay, and that's after taxes?
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't have any dependents? All right, so sir, you don't qualify for the public defender's office, so you're gonna have to hire an attorney to help you with this case, okay? At this time, I'm gonna set your bond at $500 on count 1, $100 on count 2, and $100 on count 3. Thank you, sir. Rotkowitz? Okay, we'll reset her case. Are you Mr. Woodruff?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Woodruff, you are here in case number 19 CF 5478. You were arrested for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, sir. You need to make sure that you stay in contact with the public defender's office so that they have your address, and so that you get notice of your court date so that you don't miss court and get arrested. Okay? Thank you, sir. Did Arroyo bond? Anastasia?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Katrina?
Katrina Kornick?
Yes.
Ma'am, this is case number 19 CT 853. You were arrested for driving under the influence. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. At this time, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, ma'am. You need to make sure that you keep in contact with the public defender's office, so that they have your address so you don't miss your court date.
Okay.
Okay, if you miss your court date, you'll get arrested.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you, ma'am. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Ben John Louis Jean.
Did Mr. Kayad bond out? Okay, thank you. And you're Mr. Luis Jean, is that correct?
Yes.
Sir, you are here in case number 19 CT 2994. You were arrested for DUI. I do find probable cause. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $1,000. Case number 18 CT 15051. I'll take no action at this time, sir. Thank you. Ms. Pabon bond out?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Also, Metellus.
Metellus? And is this Mr. Daniels?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Daniels, you are here for an out-of-county warrant from Osceola County, sir. It's for stalking. You do not currently have a bond. Osceola County will come and pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get there. You also have an out-of-county warrant in case number 9. It's another Osceola County warrant, and that is for possession of cannabis less than 20 grams and possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have a bond on that case, sir. Count 1 is $1,000, and count 2 is $250. And then, but with respect to the no bond case, you'll see a judge when you get to Osceola County. Okay, thank you, sir. Are you Mr. Dempsey?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County for the offense of grand theft. Your bond is $2,000. If you cannot post the bond, Seminole County will come pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get to first appearance. All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Powell, bonding, Your Honor.
All right. Are you Mr. Byrd?
Yeah, she about to do.
Sir?
Yeah, she about to do.
Mr. Byrd, you are here in case number 19MO711. You were arrested for camping. I do find probable cause. Did you want a lawyer to help you with your case this afternoon?
Oh, nay.
All right. Ms. Correll, is there an offer for Mr. Byrd?
Adjudication and time served.
Okay. Mr. Byrd, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Adjudication and time served. Did you want to accept that offer from the state?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I just need you to sign the plea form, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Byrd, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
Hey, nay.
No. Sir, are you on probation?
Nay.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yeah.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this afternoon?
Nay.
I'll accept your plea, sir, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the Orange County Jail with 1 day for credits time served. You'll have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 20th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. She about to do.
Good afternoon, your name?
Mel Dawson.
Did Mr. Saran bond out?
He did, Your Honor.
Okay. And you're Mr. Dawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're here in case number 19M0713. You were arrested for camping. I find probable cause and will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Dawson?
Adjudication and time served, Your Honor.
Okay. Would you like to accept that, Mr. Dawson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just sign the plea form, please.
Your Honor, public defender could waive all fees. Appointment fees. We would like to waive the public defender fee.
Do you think your office would want you to do that? That's how you get paid.
It's fine.
I don't even know if you can do that, if the public defender's been appointed, can you?
I'd ask that we be on appointment.
Pardon me?
I'd ask that we be on appointment. There's gonna be $50.
Yeah, I've already appointed the public defender, so the fees, the application fee has already been assessed. Mr. Dawson, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this afternoon?
No, ma'am.
Sir, I'm going to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served. You do have to pay court costs. Those need to be paid by April 20th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's all I had. They said Metellus bonded out. All right, that's all I had.
Then we'll be in recess.
Thank you.